Tori, Petry, Tim Twentyman, and Mike O'Hara here in Xfinity Studio. The Lions report for Detroit Lions training camp presented by Rocket Mortgage on Wednesday. Gentlemen, it is an exciting time of year. Players are about to be back in the building. We're about to be out there watching practice again. What is the number one thing you're looking for in training camp?
Well, probably like everybody else, the health of the team and all that, and then just competition for jobs, and we can get into that later, but just the overall flow of camp and how it looks different from last year. I think Matt Patricia put down the framework a year ago. Now we'll see what he expands on and how it changes a year later.
You know, a new offense, too. I think that's going to be an interesting storyline. Darrell Bevel, obviously the new offensive coordinator here in Detroit. What's that offense going to look like? How much is it going to be, balanced between pass and run? How much do they feature the tight end position? How many different personnel groupings are they going to use? Kind of like what Matt Patricia does on defense. So I think that'll be one thing that'll be interesting to watch as kind of camp gets rolling here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, and a good point by you, Tim. And in this modern era of throwing the ball, I've never seen people want to see him run it more than they have with Darrell Bevel than they have in the past.
Certainly. Well, those will be things to watch out for. But, Mike, like you mentioned, there are competitions that are happening all across the board. What are a couple position competitions that people who are coming out to training camp should look out for?
Well, let's forget backup quarterback, okay, because that's one every year since I've been covering the Lions. It's been a long time. I think tight end, I just think it's kind of set with T.J. Hawkinson and Jesse James. The kid I want to see is Isaac Nada. We didn't see him in the offseason program. Didn't see him on the injury report when they sent out the thing a week ago. I want to see what he has.
Well, I think you look at left guard. I think where is that going to be settled on? Kenny Wiggins is probably the favorite heading into camp, but Ode Eboshi is going to be in the mix. Joe Dahl's going to try to throw his hat in the ring. Maybe can one of the undrafted, rookie free agents make a name for himself. Then cornerback is the other spot too. Obviously, Darius Slay didn't take part in the offseason training program. Well, that gave a lot of opportunities for Tease Tabor and Rashawn Melvin. When Darius is back, I expect those two to compete for that spot opposite Darius Slay. Can a guy like Mike Ford or somebody else put himself into the mix as well? So there's going to be a lot of names there. I think those are two competitions right away that'll catch the eye of people early in camp.
And after the first three receivers, we think Danny Amendola will be like the slot guy, or whoever they play that third guy. Who's going to be like the fourth and fifth receiver on this team, too?
Yeah, Jermaine Kearse. Obviously, they signed him to be number 4. But, look, Brandon Powell played well at the end of last year.
Andy
Jones played well. They got Chris Lacey. They've got some guys that they like, some guys that got an opportunity to play late last season and made the most of it. And then the guys they drafted as well, signed some undrafted free agents. So I think that's a good one by you, too. Are they going to even keep 5? Is it 5 guys competing for one spot? Is it 5 guys competing for 2 spots? Just how that dynamic plays out will be interesting as well.
And I think there's a good point with Andy Jones because he was on the injured list like all of last year until the last 6 or 7 or 8 games. And to me, that sort of sends a message. If you've got something, they'll wait for you to get a chance to display it if you're hurt. They'll keep you if you show something.
All right, we've talked about general training camp things to watch for, competition amongst positions. Now, are there a couple of players that you're going to be keeping an eye on as camp rolls on?
Jelani Tavai. I just think the kid has it. The second-round draft pick, a linebacker. He was sort of a who's he, and the only reason I knew about him because of the stuff we do in the draft preview. But he just looks like a football player, just like he just fits in. Like sort of like a session man in music, sits in and plays. You can play with anybody. This kid just walked in there like a football player.
Mike plays the guitar too. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Very well, I might add.
Maybe 2 names for me. One, everybody's going to know one. Maybe it's a little bit of surprise. Ty Johnson, the running back out of Maryland, a 6th-round draft pick. When he touched the ball the first time in the offseason trading program, that speed to me jumped out. He was timed in his pro day in the 4.2s. And you see it on the field. And he's a bigger guy than people think. Can he carve out a role? Maybe it's on special teams. Maybe it's returning kicks. But can he carve out a role there and then maybe earn a spot on offense? And the other one for me is T.J. Hawkinson, the number 8 overall pick. I think he comes into this league a little ahead of the game because he's played inline in Iowa and he's such a good run blocker and pass protector. So now, that part of his game, he comes ready to roll, and then we get to see what he does in the passing game. How much do they use 2 tight ends in this offense? How much is he in line? Does he split out wide? Just kind of where do they use him? I think all that'll be fun to watch early on.
And you hear teammates talk about him, like Kenny Galladay, about surprising speed and all that. And they're expecting this kid to step in and do things. So when you've got your veteran teammates talking about you, I think that says something.
It certainly does. Now, guys, fans come out to these training camp practices. It's always a fun time. Fans, if you are coming out to those those practices, there are giveaways. So make sure you are getting there early while the giveaways last to collect whatever item is being given out that day. Guys, for fans who might be on the fence about whether they should come out to training camp, what do you think?
Well, if they're giveaways, I'm hiding my credential. Maybe I can get one.
I like it.
Well, no, they do a good job here with the food trucks and the ice cream and the events for kids. And then, look, if you want to interact with players, training camp is a good opportunity to do that because those guys stay after. They make the rounds. You get to shake hands, get autographs. So, look, if you want to get close with players, watch NFL action, up close, see the speed and size of these guys and marvel at that. Training camp's a good opportunity.
And the autographs, and there's some other stuff too, like those little games or whatever they have over on the way into training camp. But you talked about autographs. I don't think there's a pro player who doesn't mind giving a kid an autograph. Now, maybe the people who are buying them and selling them and all that other stuff, but the kids out there, come on out.
I love it. Well, guys, that is your training camp preview. Hopefully, we've given you enough things to watch out for. And if you're still thinking about training camp, hopefully we will see you there. Thanks so much for tuning in.